Hi, and thanks for joining us for another video in the How It Works series. I'm your host, Glen Whitten, and today we're taking a look at some of the flaws with the traditional 6% real estate model. Our firm is built around solving these flaws, so as I reveal one, I'll also explain how our system addresses it. In previous videos, we showed you how our flat fee trumps the 6% commission, and how our unbundled menu of services trumps the one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter service approach. We also talked about how we defeated the industry-wide turnover training paradox. All of this helps our sellers get more savings, more control, and better results. In this video, we're going to discuss a topic that makes everyone, brokers, agents, and clients, really uncomfortable. It's called the dual agency trap, and this happens when one agent ends up representing both parties in a real estate transaction. At first glance, this might not seem like a big deal, but once you learn how much money is at stake and how much it costs sellers, you'll see that dual agency gives you the absolute worst of both worlds. In the traditional model, a seller hires a listing agent and agrees to pay them around 6 or 7% to sell the house and get them the best deal they can. About 80% of the time, the buyer is represented by a different agent. In that case, the two agents split the commission, each keeping half or around 3%. However, when there's no buyer's agent, the listing agent usually ends up representing both sides and keeps the entire commission. When that happens, your listing agent becomes what's called a dual agent, but it should be called a huge conflict of interest. So how does this happen? It's usually when a buyer calls the number on a yard sign, reaches out to your agent through their website, shows up at an open house unrepresented. It can even happen if another agent in the same brokerage brings a buyer. If that buyer makes an offer through your agent, a short agency form is completed, and just like that, your listing agent just became a dual agent. Let's digest, shall we? You hired someone to sell your house. You want them to round up a bunch of buyers and get you the most money with terms that favor you. You expect that person to bring every bit of training, every bit of experience to get all of this for you and to fight for you every step of the way. And let's not forget, you agreed to pay them a king's ransom to do all these things. Along comes a buyer without an agent who wants to make an offer, so your realtor steps in to help them. Sounds like a winning plan? Well, don't start the parade music just yet. What's that buyer expecting? That's right. The buyer wants the agent to help them win, to get them the lowest price possible with all terms in their favor. So how does that work? How is your listing agent going to negotiate what you want and what the buyer wants? They not only won't, legally, they can't. Your listing agent can no longer fight for either of you. As a dual agent, they can only help with paperwork and answer select questions. Other than that, they're not allowed to tell you anything that could possibly hurt the buyer's position. Let's say, for example, that your buyer is approved for $50,000 more than you're asking. Now, this could be a great piece of information for you during negotiations. However, your newly minted dual agent listing agent can't tell you this because it might hurt the buyer. Dual agents, remember, can't help or hurt either party. So now, instead of working for both of you, your realtor is working for neither of you. Oh yeah, and they just doubled their payday because since there's no buyer's agent, they get to keep both sides of the commission. Your agent is now getting paid twice the money to not work for you. I'll give you a moment to absorb that. I don't know about you, but I get a little agitated just talking about this. This is terrible for sellers, but this is how the traditional model works. If you sign up with a traditional agent, which is about 99% of the realtors out there, odds are you're also agreeing to let dual agency happen on your dime. It's kind of like suing someone, but then you both use the same lawyer. I mean, it would never happen. But for some reason, realtors get away with this every day. Time for a solution. Welcome to the exclusive agency listing agreement. When we list a house, the state says we have to have a listing agreement signed before we can do anything. But the state doesn't tell us what to put in that listing agreement. Nearly all traditional realtors use an exclusive right to sell listing agreement. In summary, it says that you agree to pay their entire commission, whether they bring you a buyer, someone else brings you a buyer, or even if you find the buyer without their help. With our exclusive agency listing agreements, we separate our fees and services from the buyer agent and their commission. That means if you or I find a buyer that doesn't have an agent, we do not become dual agents and you pay 0 commissions. So, if you're full service with us, like under our Platinum program, and you find a buyer that has no agent, We take the lead. We field their offer, we draft all their paperwork, and we verify their financing details for you. If the deal comes together, we see it all the way through inspections, appraisals, and closing. And we do all of this for no additional fees or commissions to you or the buyer. We also make it clear to everyone that we're only representing you the entire way. After all, you're the one who paid us. This is what we call the best of both worlds. You get the representation that you paid for. The buyer gets to buy the house of their dreams. We get to help two families reach their goals without working around a giant commission or the awkwardness of becoming dual agents. That means when you list with us, there are two outcomes. Worst case, the buyer has an agent, so you pay our flat fee and whatever buyer agent commission you agreed to. You're still saving half or even more of the traditional commission because we don't charge anything beyond our flat fee. That's right. Our sellers decide what to offer buyer agents. Choose any dollar amount, any percentage you want, because unlike most agents, we don't dictate to our sellers what they have to offer the buyer's agents. It's your money. You decide. Best case, there is no buyer's agent and you pay nothing at closing, avoiding the entire 6% commission. Think about what that would mean to your bottom line. Think about the flexibility that's going to give you if any issues pop up during inspections or appraisals. Think about how many gallons of ice cream you could buy with that money. As you can see, our system reverses many of the flaws with the traditional 6% model. Our fees are based on the specific services you need and not the value of your home. We allow you to tailor your services to give you the help you actually want. We are highly trained and experienced and specialize in the exact type of transaction you need. Best of all, we give you the opportunity to control and possibly avoid the buyer agent commission while keeping all the benefits of a dedicated listing agent. So what are you waiting for? If you're almost there, but you have some questions, just reach out to us through the chat window at the bottom of every page or look for the link to schedule a call with us. Either way, please raise your hand. We want to erase all your questions before you get started. Be sure to check out our other videos in the How It Works series. And when you're ready, click on the Get Started link or take advantage of any of our many free tools. We have quizzes, checklists, free home value reports, closing cost calculators, and more, so you can get to know us first. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We look forward to working with you. And remember, you can sell it. We can help.